cold depths of space, a derelict Weyland-Yutani research vessel drifted silently, caught in the gravitational pull of a long-dead planet. Inside, the ship's lights flickered like dying stars, casting eerie glows on twisted metal and cracked glass. The vessel was once a proud beacon of scientific ambition, but now it was a tomb. The only signs of life were the erratic pings of motion trackers, their signals lost in the static of malfunctioning systems. Deep within the cargo hold, stasis pods lined the walls, each containing a different species of kaiju, massive monsters captured from forgotten corners of alien worlds. The project had been simple in its ruthlessness. Harness the power of kaiju DNA, splice it with the perfect organism, and forge a new weapon. But something had gone wrong. A specimen had escaped containment. It was a xenomorph, but not like any seen before. It had adapted. It had evolved. And it was no longer alone. The xenomorphs had overrun the lower decks first, slithering through air ducts and shadows. They avoided the kaiju chambers at first, sensing the primal threat those massive beasts represented. But the queen had a vision. She had seen the kaiju not as rivals, but as vessels, giant, walking wombs for her brood. And so began the infestation. Facehuggers, more resilient and aggressive than ever before, latched onto sleeping kaiju. The results were catastrophic. Kaiju awoke screaming, thrashing against containment fields that barely held. Some broke free immediately, howling with fury as their mutated insides twisted and ruptured. From their chests burst xenomorphs the size of trucks, armored in plates that shimmered with alien ichor, sporting tails like spears and jaws that could crush titanium. These were kaiju xenomorph hybrids, Kaijumorphs, and they were hungry. Earth's moon colony detected the distress signal too late. By the time a fleet arrived to investigate, the ship had crash-landed on the surface of Titan 7X, a volatile planet with active tectonics and an atmosphere heavy in methane. The arrival of the fleet triggered an automatic response from the ship's AI, which, desperate to eliminate the threat, released the remaining kaiju in one final act of programmed loyalty. But it had underestimated them. It had underestimated the chaos that would follow. The kaiju emerged into the wild, each one different in form and ferocity. There was Thorgax, the volcanic behemoth with magma for blood and a roar that cracked mountains. Viraquan, the serpentine sky predator with wings wide enough to eclipse the sun. And Malmora, a burrowing nightmare whose tremors shook the core of Titan 7X. All of them driven mad by experiments, all of them looking for something to destroy. The Kaijumorphs rose to meet them. The first clash occurred in the Valley of Bones, a jagged canyon riddled with the remains of long-dead megafauna. Thorgax lumbered forward, his body steaming from the planet's cold. He smelled the air. Something was wrong. It was then that a massive Kaijumorph leapt from the cliffs above, landing on his back with a bone-crunching impact. It had multiple arms, each ending in claws that could slice through mountains. Thorgax roared and rolled, slamming into cliff walls, shattering stone and alien carcasses alike. The two titans battled like gods, molten blood and acidic ichor spilling onto the rocks, creating clouds of noxious gas that warped the air. Meanwhile, Viraquan soared above the planet, trying to escape. Her instincts screamed for her to flee, to leave this cursed place. But from the clouds came black wings, another hybrid, this one airborne, with talons that extended like blades. The sky itself became a battlefield, the two creatures spiraling through clouds lit by methane lightning. Every collision shook the skies. Their screeches echoed across the planet. Malmora burrowed beneath the surface, trying to escape the madness. But the Kaijumorphs had learned. One of them, sleek and eel-like, hunted through the tunnels. Found her. The battle underground was deafening, felt on the surface as quakes and eruptions. Lava geysers shot into the sky as the Titans clashed in the darkness, their fight unseen but felt. As the battles raged, the Queen watched from her hive. A grotesque cathedral groaned from the twisted metal of the crashed ship and the corpses of dead Kaiju. She had become something more than queen. She was now a god among her kind, connected to her Kaijumorph children through a psychic web of rage and hunger. She laid her eggs in the open, unafraid. Nothing on this planet could oppose her except for what came next. The Weyland-Yutani fleet had not come alone. They had brought something else. A contingency. Project Leviathan. Leviathan was a synthetic kaiju, built from salvaged kaiju DNA and xenomorph genome strands, controlled by a Neuralink AI designed to think like a soldier and fight like a beast. It dropped from orbit like a comet, smashing into the planet with an impact that leveled mountains. When it rose, it towered above even Thorgax. Gleaming black and chrome, its eyes burned with artificial light. It was Earth's last hope and its greatest gamble. Leviathan made no sound, simply moved. Its first target was the hive. The Queen sensed the danger and unleashed her children. Dozens of Kaijumorphs swarmed across the land, leaping, crawling, flying. But Leviathan was ready. Plasma cannons mounted on its shoulders melted them mid-air. Its tail split in two, each tip ending in a vibroblade spinning at hypersonic speed. It carved a path through the swarm, reaching the hive in hours. Inside, the Queen waited. The final battle was cataclysmic. She lunged with her inner jaw, but Leviathan caught it mid-strike and crushed it. Acid sprayed his synthetic armor, sizzling, but he adapted. His skin changed composition, becoming resistant. The Queen shrieked and summoned her remaining children. Leviathan activated his overload core. A wave of energy burst from his chest, vaporizing the surrounding area. Still, the Queen fought. Her limbs broke and reformed, her body mutating even as it was torn apart. She grew tendrils, wings, fangs larger than tanks. But in the end, the machine was relentless. It did not bleed. It did not tire. It crushed her beneath its heel. With the Queen gone, the Kaijumorphs lost coordination. The remaining Kaiju, those who had survived the chaos, turned on them with renewed fury. The planet became a wasteland of broken titans and smoldering craters. And then, silence. Leviathan stood alone, battered but functioning. It had fulfilled its mission, but it did not power down. It looked to the stars, as if sensing something beyond Titan 7X. It took one step, then another into the dark horizon. Far above, in the blackness of space, another ship drifted. Another Queen had sensed her sister's fall. The war was not over. It had only just begun.